Welcome back to an episode of Let's Build Twitter. We are currently on episode 99. And before we get into the actual preview of what we're working on today, I wanted to say the day has finally come. For everyone that's been asking about the repository, where's the repository? You can now get access to it. I recently got access to channel membership, so now anyone who does want to go ahead and support me and join that channel is going to get access to the private Git repository, as well as early access to any videos that I do upload here. So probably 2 or 3 videos a week you'll get early access to. As soon as I make them, I'll go ahead and upload them. You'll get to see them before the schedule. So in this episode, we start working on the feed section of our homepage where all the posts and post related components are going to live. We do this by starting out making a parent component to hold all the other post feed components while also styling the general layout of this component. Then we continue on by creating a new component for the top bar on the feed component, which allows you to switch between the For You and the following page options, along with styling this component to look just like Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, an Encoder, and let's hop straight into the development. Sorry about the last video being a little bit broken. I forgot to do the side by side and kind of put everything together, but we're back here on the Twitter clone, and let's go ahead and sign in with unknown coder. Whoops. Unknown coder and password. The last couple episodes we built this out. Technically this is supposed to be at the bottom of the page. I kind of like it closer here, so I might or might not change it. Today or in these next few episodes that we're going to be working on, we're going to be working on the feed page. So let's go ahead and hop into our code. This is already running, so we can go ahead and hide that, and we're going to close out of this stuff, and we're going to, I don't think we need home CSS, I don't think we need navigation or that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to clean some stuff up here, get rid of the components. I'm going to go into our features, and I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call this feed. And then inside of feed, I'm going to make a components folder, because this is kind of how we've been doing this. Well, I haven't been able to like type anything right in the past few days. And then we're going to make a new folder. And this is going to be called feed. And then we're going to make a feed.tsx, new file, feed.tsx, and we'll make a feed.css, new file, feed.css. So this will be the primary place where we're actually seeing our objects or the actual like posts and stuff. So go ahead and import React from React, as we always do. Maybe. Then we'll go ahead and import our /feed.css. And there's a couple things we have to make on this. So go ahead and just first export const feed, which is a react.function component. And for now, it's not going to take anything in. And go ahead and do that. And we'll return a div, whoops, with a class name equal to feed on it. And this is going to be where our posts live. Now, of course, we're going to have to set up a couple things in here. So now we're going to go ahead and do the CSS. So this is just going to be very basic .feed. And it's going to be a width of 100% of the parent, a height of 100% of the parent, and then it's going to have a border left. Border left is going to be 1px solid, and then it's going to be RGBA of 170, 184, 194.25. We're going to do the same thing on the right. So border dash right, 1px solid, RGBA of this. Now right now it might not look the best, but this is what we're looking like. You can't really see anything because we don't have anything inside of the feed with that, and we haven't actually put the feed inside the home page. So what we'd want to do is inside the content section, we'd want to put feed in here, and now we should be able to see something at least. It might not be great. And we should just be able to go /home again. We should still have a token here. Now you can see we have our lines on the side, kind of like we want. Now on Twitter, we have like a top bar, we have the post creator, and then we have all of the posts. So we're going to go ahead and make the top feed bar. So now back inside of our code, I'm going to go ahead and make a new component. I'm going to call this new folder. This is going to be feed top bar. And inside we'll have a new file, feed top bar.tsx. I'm going to make a new one, feed top bar.css. All right, looks good. We'll get rid of this. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is import React and use state. This should be an uppercase React. Whoops. Import those from React. We'll also go ahead and import the /feed top bar.css. We're going to go and export const feed top bar, which will be a react.fc. I cannot type today, I'm sorry. React.function component. Not going to take anything currently, but you never know, it might need to. Go ahead and return. And then we're going to go ahead and return a div, the class name equal to, and this will be feed dash top dash bar, like that. We have a little bit of state to set up, so we'll say const for u active, and let me actually go ahead and do this. For u active, then set for u active. I probably could have done this as the one state variable, but it is what it is. I was designing this code at like 5 a.m. So give me a break. And then we'll say const, and we'll say following active, and set following active equal to use state, Boolean, and false. And now that I am seeing this code, we could definitely written this different, but you can basically do things multiple different ways. It's not that big of a deal. Now we'll go ahead and have a div, the class name equal to feed dash top bar dash top. A little bit confusing, but you'll see what's going on here. This is going to have an h1, the class name equal to feed dash top dash bar dash home, and this is going to say home in it. So again, this is based off Twitter. Then we're going to go ahead and have another div with a class name equal to, it's going to be feed dash top dash bar dash bottom, and I didn't spell bottom remotely close, bottom. This is the bottom part of the bar, and this is going to have another div, the class name equal to feed dash top dash bar dash choice. And there's a reason why we set these up like this, is because of certain stylings. Then we're going to have another one saying div class name equal to feed dash top dash bar dash choice dash content. So what is actually displayed here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to have an h2, the class name equal to, and we're going to say backticks and then a $sign. So now we're going to say for u active question mark. So if for u is active, then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and return feed dash top dash bar dash choice dash text dash active. And then otherwise, we're going to return feed dash top dash bar dash choice dash text. So we have a couple options here. So now we can go ahead and put for u in there, because at the top there's two bars. There's a for u section and then another one. And then inside here below that, we're going to have in curly brace and say for u active again, question mark. If for u is active, we're going to have a div with a class name equal to feed dash top dash bar dash choice dash underline. And this is just an empty div. I don't know why the div didn't close for me. Otherwise, it's just going to be nothing. So otherwise, it's going to be empty. And then outside of this div, so we have one choice. Now we need the other choice. We're going to say feed dash, div class name equal to, and we're going to have feed dash top dash bar dash choice again. So we have our individual choice. Then we're going to have the other div of the class name equal to feed dash top dash bar dot choice dash content. And then inside the content, we'll have our h2 again. And this h2 is going to have a class name equal to, and then this one will be the curly braces again with backticks, $, and this one is going to say following active, question mark. If it is, then we're basically going to have the same thing. We're going to have feed top bar choice active or not active. So it's more or less the same here. And then inside this, it's going to say following. And then below that, we'll have this curly braces again. We'll say following active, question mark. And if that's the case, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have the feed bar choice underline or not. So the reasoning behind this is that whenever you click on Twitter, it's going to have an underline or not. Actually, I'll just show you. So whenever you click on this, you can see it kind of highlights, it gets thicker. And then there's an underline here. So that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here. So that should be set up. It's kind of gross and kind of messy, but it should be okay. And then, of course, if we actually wanted to see what was going on here, we'd have to put it inside the feed. So then inside the feed, we can go ahead and say feed top bar, like so, just so you can see it. And it's not going to look crazy or good or anything. You can see we have for you, home, yada, yada, yada. And there's a bunch of stuff that we need to fix. So we can do that with our CSS. So let's go ahead and start setting up the, not feed, but the top bar CSS. So first we have top feed dash top dash bar. And now we have a width of 100%. We're going to have a height of fit content because it could expand. We're going to have a border bottom of 1px. It's going to have solid RGBA, and it's going to be 170, 189, or 184, 194, and 0.25. So the same border. We're going to have a margin 0 on this. We're going to have padding 0, 0, and then we're going to have position sticky. So we want it to be sticky to the top. So top 0. And then we're going to have a background color of RGBA. And this is going to be 256, 256, 256, and 0.5. And this might need to be changed because basically whenever you kind of like scroll, it kind of goes underneath of this. So that's the idea. And finally, we're going to have backdrop filter. This is going to be blur 10px. I have no idea if the backdrop filter works or not, but we're going to find out soon, hopefully. And again, you're not going to really see much on here. You can see the bottom underline and stuff, but we haven't really gotten to the point where you're going to see much. We need to do a little bit more styling. So next, top dash feed dash top dash bar dash top. So width, once again, be 100%, so it takes up the whole space. Height will be fit content, and then padding will have a 16px padding. And then next, we'll go ahead and say dot feed dash top dash bar dash home. And then we're going to have padding of 0. We have margin of 0. We're going to have a font size of 20px. We're going to have a font weight of 700. So again, it's not going to change too much, but you can see we kind of have the home. If we go back to Twitter, again, it's not going to be perfect, but you can see how it has home in the top left. So that's what we're going for there. So that looks good. So now we need to go ahead and do the top bar bottom. So now back in here. So now we'll do dot feed dash top dash bar dash bottom. This one will have a width of 100%, a height of 100%. It's going to have a margin of 0, a padding of 0, maybe. Oh my goodness, padding of 0. It's going to be display flex. And then we're going to have justify content space evenly. We're going to have align items end. So now this should start changing some things. So now it's side by side instead of up and down, kind of how we want. Now we need the dot feed dash top dash bar dash choice. And this is going to be a width of 50%, a height of 50 px. We got the semicolon, height of 50 px. We're going to have a display flex again. That way we considered these. This is just going to be flex direction of column. And then we'll justify content end again. And we're going to go ahead and align items center. So we should see a little bit of stuff move around here. So now this is kind of what it looks like versus Twitter. It's a little bit big, but we need to go ahead and fix that. So now we'll go ahead and do so now we got the top bar choice. Now I need dot feed dash top dash bar dash choice colon hover, because there is a hover effect. So now this is just going to be background color. And this is going to be RGBA again of 170, 184, 194.25. And then we're going to have a cursor pointer. Once again, there we go. Still a little bit scuffed because there's some weird padding and margin stuff on the text. So we'll fix that, but you can see kind of where we're getting at here. So now let's go ahead and do the text active and then the regular text. So now we'll go ahead and say dot feed dash top dash bar. And this is going to be called choice dash, and we'll do active first. So with the choice active, we want to make sure our margin is set to 0. Our padding is set to 0. We're going to have a font dash size, of 15 px. We're going to have a font weight of 700. We're going to have a margin dash bottom of 10 px. So whichever one is active, we'll get that style. And then on the opposite, the feed dash top, top dash bar dash choice, the non-active one, is just going to have a margin of 0, a padding of 0, a font size of 15 px again. I could have done this slightly different. Font weight is going to be smaller, only 600. It's going to have a color of 536471. This should be like a gray color, and then a margin bottom of 14 px. So hopefully this is starting to look a little bit more like Twitter, and it's still not quite right. So we might need to look into what I'm doing wrong, but we're almost there. Let's go ahead and do the underline part, and then if I am missing something, I can take a peek. So finally, we'll have a dot feed dash top dash bar dash choice dash underline. So here, our choice underline is going to have a width of 100%. Whoops, might want to spell width right. Width of 100%. A height of 4 px. It's going to have a background color of 1D, A1, F2. And then we're going to A1. And then we're going to have a border radius of 2 pixels. And finally, a margin dash top of about 10 px. And save. So now what are we looking like? So still a little bit big. And let me double check this. But yes, this is still big. We didn't do something right here. Let's double check. So this is feed choice text active. Let's make sure we spelled these right. You know what? I think we forgot the dot text part. And this one should just be, I forgot the text. That's why it doesn't quite look right, I think. There we go. So now, right now, it doesn't do anything because you don't click on them. but it acts similarly to Twitter. If we come back to actual Twitter, you can see it does the same thing. Cool. So now obviously we need to make it so that you can actually go through and click on these. So that's what we're going to go ahead and set up next. So now let's go back into our code. And now we go into feed top bar. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to make a new function. So const select choice is equal to e::react.mouse event. And then we're going to have an HTML div element. And then what we'll do is do our error function. And now we're going to go ahead and say if our e.target.id, or actually we're going to say e.currentTarget.id is equal to for-u. We need to go ahead and add this for you ID on there. We're going to go ahead and set following active to false. We're going to go ahead and set for you active to true. And then otherwise, we're going to go ahead and say set for you active to false. And we're going to go ahead and set following active to true. Now, of course, we need to go ahead and go into here, and it's going to be whichever one here, maybe. And let me double check where I put this. The ID goes on the choice. So ID equal to for-u. And then on the choice, so ID equal to following. And now we also need to put on clicks on here. So on click will equal to, and this is going to be equal to select choice. And the same thing down here, we'll throw the on click on the choice and save. And that should be good to go. So now it's good. Click on this one. It goes that, like that. There we go. So it switches. And I believe that's all that Twitter's does. So we click on this, it switches. We click on this, it switches. So obviously we had to go through and actually make things happen. And I don't know if we're going to make a difference between for you and following, but it at least looks like it's supposed to. And it looks somewhat like Twitter. So that looks great. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please stick around for the next episode by hitting that subscribe button. You'll know exactly when it comes out, especially at that bell icon. If you did enjoy the content today, please sure to leave a thumbs up. If you did enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. Either way, it helps out with the algorithm all the same. And finally, if you have any suggestions or feedback for me, make sure you leave a comment down below. With that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.